and we're live on YouTube. Okay, yeah. So I've dropped the link on the group for the YouTube stream. I've dropped the link on the group for that. I want to get my camera up on YouTube so that at least my face can show it. Okay, yeah. So my YouTube stream has gone live. Okay. All right. So I hope everybody's doing good. Right here on YouTube. Don't worry, you see my face shortly on YouTube. My camera is sluggish in posting up. Okay, so that's it. So I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's doing fine. Uh, we're back again for another conversation. Dr. Macx Health Support Community. Uh, yeah, and today we are going to be talking about belly fat. So let me adjust my screen so that so that while my screen is showing, my face can be showing on the side. So belly fat, right? That's the major topic of conversation today. The key principles, understanding belly fat, and just knowing how to go about the whole process of managing belly fat. So for those who are on YouTube on the live stream, there's a link to the WhatsApp group in the description of this video. Please, if you are not on the WhatsApp group, you can click that link so that just in case there's any connection issues on YouTube, you will not get disconnected. So I'm currently also speaking on the WhatsApp group. I like to have two-factor authentication, because of this country that we're in. So yeah, um, yeah, and then also for anyone who has still not yet subscribed to the channel, I really appreciate that. It's one of the biggest things you could do for me, even though it's might seem like a small thing on your side, but subscribing to the YouTube channel really helps. One, it's kind of feedback. It shows that yeah, people are listening to what I'm doing. Also, when you get people around you who are interested in their health to subscribe to the YouTube channel, um, they also get to learn from it. It's an opportunity for them to grow. So this is us taking our health away from the government. That okay, we are not waiting for government to give us health information anymore. We want to educate ourselves and sharing this the link to the YouTube channel, putting it on your status and all that. It's a very important way to help us do that so everybody can actually be healthy. Because the way this country is right now, we need to help ourselves as much as possible. So please feel free. I really appreciate you sharing the link to the YouTube channel. Okay, so now we can get to the conversation of today. So for anyone who doesn't know what this channel is about, basically this community is a health support community. I don't prescribe drugs because I can't exactly do a one-on-one conversation while we are live online. However, what I do is I give you information regarding health issues, I answer general health questions, and I give you some sort of direction regarding what lifestyle changes you might need to make for different health conditions. That's largely what it says. And we're hoping this group can get to a point where we can start having in-person meetings, in-person hangouts, and things like that. So that you just know that you are not the only one on your health journey. Whatever it is, whether it's blood pressure, blood sugar, or weight loss, you're not the only one on that journey. Now, that's it. Let's jump into belly fat. Okay, let's jump into belly fat. So, the big question: why is belly fat so much of an issue? Why is it? Why does it get so much focus? Why does it seem to be this hard nut to crack? Right, belly fat. What's special about it? Well, it's important for you to understand how belly fat is different from every other type of fat, and how you see people struggle to try and find some sort of shortcut or a hack for belly fat, and it's almost like there's nothing like that, like it doesn't exist. Everybody's trying to find a way. How do I lose belly fat? They will sell a supplement to you and all that. Everybody's trying to sell one thing or the other for you to lose belly fat. right? And the question is why? Well, for you to know about that, you need to first of all understand what belly fat is. Because when you do, you will not compare it to any other kind of fat in the body. Now, when we're talking about belly fat, it's also called visceral fat. Now, this is the kind of fat that is supposed to, because it has a function, all right, it's supposed to protect the organs in your abdomen. So protect your intestine, protect your liver, protect your kidneys, protect the ovaries, protect, just protect all the organs in your abdomen. So it actually serves some sort of function. All right, because without belly fat, what will happen is the liver will just be, flying around. It will jam the kidney, it will jam this, you know, and also without that, it means that you just have skin, and then after skin, your internal organs straight up. So it doesn't protect it from the external environment. There's nothing to protect it. So it's protective and insulative. All right. So it has a function. Also, it's a store of energy. All right. So it's important to know that it's not like you are ever trying to remove all the belly fat in your stomach. You want to remove it completely. There should be nothing there again. No. All right. So there should be something there. Now, why belly fat is different from the fat in your hands, right? Your arms or your legs, your thighs, is that for your arms, right? Let's look at what is there, right? You have your skin, then you have fat under it, then you have muscles, then you have bone, right? That's what you have on your hand. All right, skin, fat, muscles, you have bone. All right, so it's layer by layer. For the abdomen, what you have is a big space with different organs inside. And then more or less what is used to shock these organs in place is largely fat tissue. All right. So unlike where you have layer upon layer upon layer, this one is like packed into the abdomen. You pack a lot of fat into the abdomen. Why is it important for you to understand this? Because a lot of people expect that, oh, there is a way they can focus on the stomach and lose weight there. There is no way to do that because by itself, and another reason why it's important for you to understand this is that when people are trying to lose belly fat, they easily get discouraged. What they don't know is that you cannot measure it just by looking alone because the fat there is packed together. So you could be losing belly fat, but it's not showing. It's not showing very quickly, right? It's not easily obvious because of the way the fat has been packed together. You won't easily know that you're actually making progress. Unlike your legs or your arms, where once you start losing weight a little bit, even your face, your cheeks, right, they'll start going inside. People say, you're looking slimmer, you're looking, right? So you can't compare that to the abdomen, where the fat is packed. You could lose some of it, you could burn some of it, but it will not quickly show. So understanding this helps you know that you should not quickly get discouraged when trying to lose belly fat. All right, understanding this helps you know you can't compare it to the fat on your arms. And I was also saying that there is no particular way to target the stomach because the body does not know how to say every other fat stay in that place. Belly fat, you are the only one that will burn. The body does not work like that. Anything that gets you burning energy, what will happen is the body will just decide where it wants to burn fat from. That's what happens. As long as you start burning energy, the body will just random, it will pick by itself. Okay, let's burn fat from the thighs, let's burn fat from the buttocks, let's burn fat from the stomach, let's burn fat from the arm. Right? The body just selects that. So there's no particular way till date to actually target belly fat. Alright, there's no drug, there's nothing that can actually do it. Because keep in mind, at the end of the day, it is still the same fat. It's still the same fat that is on your hand or your leg. It's just that for the stomach, it is slightly packed. So how will a drug target the fat in the stomach? Does the drug know where your stomach is? That the drug will now be moving into your system, looking for the stomach to say that's the fat I want to target. It doesn't work like that, right? So whatever drug anybody wants to take to burn fat. It will burn fat all over. And I've always said I don't support the use of drugs to burn calories or to burn fat. And this is part of why, because it will just go all over and burn fat. And a lot of times it causes damage because it is capturing your body system so that it can burn fat. Um, the truth is, if someone is fat, the body was not working abnormally when it accumulated that fat. It was working normally. It was following a normal process. So what you need to do is change your lifestyle so that the body can now, in its normal process, remove the fat. But when you say that, oh, the body is following a normal process and I am accumulating fat because of my lifestyle, but I want to spoil that process so that I will not accumulate fat, then what will not happen to the process? There will be consequences when you take a drug that will just come and scatter that process, right? There will definitely be consequences, right? And that's added to the fact that a lot of these drugs are just water shedding drugs. So they drain your body of water. That's really what they do. It's like causing dehydration, causing you to lose weight through slow, continuous dehydration, which is very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous, especially for the kidneys. Okay, so it's important to put that in perspective regarding belly fat. Very, very important to put that in perspective. So now you understand what belly fat is. It's just the same fat all over your body, but this time packed together. And now you understand why it is particularly hard. I'm going to tell you another reason why it's hard as I continue. I'll tell you more reasons why it's particularly hard to lose belly fat. So that when you understand this, you now know how to approach it. Because if you don't have this understanding, you just think, no, I'm not losing weight. It's fast. My stomach is not going down. Oh, let's forget about it, Jerry. It does not work that way, right? It does not work that way. If you understand, you know that you will need to put in the work, but you will see results. Okay, you will definitely see results. It's just that, because of the way it is, it won't be so fast. So let's jump. So what is the number one cause of belly fat? The number one, that's the number one, above all else, above everything else. The number one cause of belly fat is what? Excess calories. Excess calories. Your body simply has more calories than it knows what to do. Excess calories. Once you need to understand this. Excess calories. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not that you will now say, oh, excess calories, I want to starve myself. No. It means that whatever change you are going to make, it must be such that going forward, henceforth, right, you are taking steps to make sure your body does not have excess calories. That's why the step people take to try and burn belly fat is usually very, very important because a lot of people think that, oh, I can still eat my cake and eat my rubbish and then I'll just go and do this thing and then my stomach will come down or something like that. Or maybe there's some magic you can perform in 1 or 2 weeks. No, right? The belly fat is there because of excess calories that come in every single day. So if you are not making a change that can cut down those calories every single day, you will not get the results you are looking for. Or you might do one, magic. Take one drug that is dangerous for your health. Maybe the stomach will come down a little if it doesn't destroy your kidneys first, right? And then when you stop the drug, because you have to stop the drug, even the person giving you will warn you that you cannot be taking it forever. If your kidney survives and you continue taking the drug, let's not even go there. Okay, so when you stop whatever magic you are taking, because or whatever effort you are putting in, if it's fasting, if it's starvation, whichever thing it is, healthy or unhealthy, once you stop it and you start getting excess calories again, your belly fat will start coming up. It will start building belly fat again. It's important that we understand this. So whatever it is you are going to do, it has to be such that moving forward, you are making a decision that henceforth, I don't want my body to have excess calories again because that is the root cause. That is the number one. All right, and you must address it if you are going to cut down on belly fat. No matter what else you do, as long as at the end of the day, when you are going to bed, your body has more calories than it needs. That belly fat is going to remain there. It will increase, in fact. Okay, so important point. So what causes excess calories to pile up? Number one is what we call trans fat, and it's here on my YouTube screen. All right, trans fat, trans fat. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, I moved away from that. Trans fat, right? So trans fat is a particular type of fat that is found in fast food and in junk food. It is the most unhealthy fat that you can imagine. It is bad for the heart, it is bad for your blood pressure, it is bad for your body system as a whole, but it is particularly notorious for increasing belly fat, trans fat. All right, so if you are trying to lose weight, junk food, fries and chicken, chicken and fries and KFC and the likes and all that, right? Shawarma and pizza, all those things, they are your worst enemies. Cake, donuts, ice cream. And the irony is that ladies are often the ones trying to lose weight. But at the same time, ladies are the ones who like fast, all this junk food. They love junk food. And they're the ones trying to lose weight. So I don't know how you would do it. But that's the issue. Trans fat is notorious for causing increase in belly fat. Another one is increasing foods that are highly fattening. And this one is actually going to break a lot of hearts because a common one is jollof rice. Now you need to understand that jollof rice contains rice, right? Which is carbohydrate. But please note that the rice that you are buying inside bag, a lot of times it has been processed in a factory. All right, it has been processed in a factory, so it's refined. That's problem number one. It's refined. Problem number two is that you are now adding oil, right? Heavily. You're adding so much oil that the rice permanently changes color. You did not add color, you added oil. So much oil and tomatoes and pepper and the likes, and you put everything together. So it is highly, because you keep in mind that fats, if you remember from primary school, they call it fat and oil. They're in the same class. So all those oils and stews and everything that you prepare, that you now soak the jollof rice in, you soak the jollof rice inside it. Yeah, I don't really know how to cook, but I know that there is that part where you soak the rice inside, yes, you soak it in. That you are now increasing the fat. Let the fat really come out very well. And you're not eating that kind of thing every day. When you eat it very often, it's an issue. Right? So it is not an abomination to eat jollof rice, don't get me wrong. But when you start eating it frequently, it's a highly fattening food. It will increase belly fat. Another one is pounded yam. All right, pounded yam. It's packed. When they pound the yam and they squeeze it, and then some people can now take a big wrap of pounded yam, they now squeeze it even more. You are packing all those dense calories, packing them together, and then you load it into your stomach. Ah, it's a lot. Again, not an abomination, but frequently consuming all these kind of things. In fact, I dare say that frequently consuming our classic African foods, which are high in carbohydrates, is a major cause of belly fat. So for us in this part of the world, a lot of people have belly fat because of our native food. When you travel out of the country, a lot of them have belly fat because there's plenty junk food. Junk food is very cheap over there. Someone was telling me that if you want to buy jollof rice in the UK, you will spend serious money. Like the money you will spend, you will feel it. All right, so a lot of people end up eating junk over there. They eat junk food. That's why they are. But in this part of the world, our African diet largely high in fat. So that's something that you should note about belly fat. Um, so I've already mentioned processed foods and all that. Another one is overeating. Overeating. We said excess calories. So obviously, when you overeat, and one thing I've always said is that if you want to control how much you are eating, eat more protein. I'm telling you, I see it all the time. Eat more protein. You will finish 2 bowls. Okay, let me not say 2 bowls. You will finish a mountain of carbohydrates right? Before you feel as satisfied as you would feel if you just ate a small portion of protein. Just a small portion of protein and you're already satisfied. But for carbohydrate, you will eat and eat and eat, you will consume a mountain just so that you can feel satisfied. So one trick to avoid overeating is switch to protein a lot more. It will help you so much. Okay, so this is the excess calories. All right, so that's just a run through of what excess calories look like. All right, I've said trans fat, I've said frequent eating of highly fattening foods, and I've said overeating. All right, so there are some other causes of belly fat. Of course, alcohol and smoking, they are up there. Right, once you finish from the excess calories, you are coming straight down to alcohol and smoking. You have stress, poor sleep, you have genetics. So for genetics, I always like to emphasize that for anyone who thinks that they have a genetic is the reason why they are having big stomach or why they are fat is because mom is like that, dad is like that. Don't just be too quick to assume that it's genetics. Why? Well, all of you are in the same house. The same food mommy is eating, what daddy is eating, that's what you are eating. So you cannot just assume that uh, it's genetics, all of us inherited it. No, all of you are eating the same type of food. So it makes sense that all of you will have big stomach. So don't just assume that it's genetic, especially when you're staying in the same locality. So if you had someone, I don't know, maybe on another part of the world, and then you were in Nigeria, and somehow you notice everybody all the time, even though everybody's in different parts of the world, then and everybody now has big stomach, then maybe I might consider genetics. But all of you are in the same house, in the same Africa, in the same Nigeria, you're eating the same thing. It's not likely to be genetic. It's just what all of you are eating. All right, you're all eating the same thing. That's what is causing the big stomach. Right. That said, always make sure you look out for other things. And before you even talk about genetics, you would have done everything. So the diet I've spoken about, you would have addressed that properly. All right, and I'm going to give you some insight into it. Oh, there's something I forgot to type. So I'll type it when I mention it, right? So you've addressed the diet properly. You've addressed alcohol and smoking. You've addressed stress. You've addressed the next thing now, exercise. I've always said it's 2 hours, 30 minutes, or 150 minutes per week, right? You've add, now there's another one, age. All right, so as you get older, generally, the body's metabolism slows down, and because your metabolism is slowing down, you are not doing much with all the calories you take. So that's why generally, as a general advice, right? Unless you are an athlete, as you get older, you realize you need less food again, which buttresses why the point when I made when I said switch to more protein. Okay, switch to more protein because you consume carbohydrates, you consume so much, but you're not doing anything with it. Your body's metabolism is slowing down. You're not already at that stage where you could run up and down and play football and all that. Nah, you get home, you're tired, you want to rest, you get to work, you're on your system, so you are not burning all those calories. So it's important. So as you get older, your metabolism slows down, and then based on that, the fact that it has slowed down, all the calories that you have gotten, there's nothing to do with it. It gets stored as fat. There's really not much you can do about that except exercise. So one of the things that exercise will do is that from time to time it will jerk up your body's metabolism. All right, to jerk up your body's metabolism. That's one of the benefits of exercise. So that it's not always low as you get older. Hormonal changes, I mentioned this before in previous conversations, women especially are closer to menopause. And I saw something online, I still want to be sure. It seems that even despite the fact that women have menopause, it seems men are more likely to develop abdominal fat than women. And part of the rationale was that women have more places where they store fat. So for women, of course, they store in the thighs, in the legs, in the buttocks, in the hips, in the breast, they store fat in a lot of places. But for a lot of men, you see, just the stomach. That's all the fat is going to the stomach, right? So You can see a man with a very big stomach and the bum bum is very small because the body of a man does not know how to store fat in the bum bum. It does not store it there. It's going to the stomach. So I'm still going to check more on that. But generally, right? So these are some of the issues that you get older. So it is when you remove all these points, you address all of them, that you can now start saying, "Ah, with all the work I've done for maybe the past 1 or 2 years, and then you've gotten medical checks, they've checked you for anything that might be making you fat, they can't see anything." That's when you say, okay, maybe it might be genetic at that point in time. So please, this genetics, people when people get tired and they don't want to put effort anymore, they say, see, that's how we are in our family. All of us are fat. I usually don't buy it. I don't buy it oftentimes. Okay. So finally, some key points about losing belly fat. Number one, I've mentioned before, there is no way to target your belly. There is no drug, there is no exercise that targets your belly alone. You must lose fat all over. All right. Whatever it is you are doing, you lose fat all over, and that will also include the belly fat. All right. There's no exercise. There's nothing that you do that will say, okay, all the other fats. Because ladies often have that stand that the other fats in my hips, let that one stay. Oh, it's only the one in my belly I want to come out. Sorry, oh, there is no way to do it. Yes, there is no way to do it. You have to lose fat all over. Okay. Um, Another thing you need to know: for every 2 kg you lose, all right, for every 2 kg you lose about 2 centimeters of belly fat. Okay, for every 2 kg you lose, for every 2 kg you lose about 2 centimeters of belly fat. So I advise you. That's why I say you will not see it. And this usually takes place over a month. So we expect that the standard is that you lose 2 kg over a month. All right, over a month. So imagine that a whole 1 month, the change is just 2 centimeters. You won't see it with your eyes. You won't see, just look at your stomach, just this thing is not working, Jerry. Just forget about it. No, measure. All right, start by measuring your day one. Measure it and how many centimeters. And when you're measuring it, don't suck belly. You suck in the stomach. At the same time, don't push the stomach outside too. Just your normal, the normal size of your stomach. Measure it. You can call a tailor to measure it for you. All right, the way they would measure it, if you wanted to wear clothes. If you want to wear clothes, you must suck belly inside. Because if you suck belly and they sew the cloth, when you wear the cloth, I don't know how it will fit. Right? So, right, just measure. So after a month, you're expecting that, okay, with all the effort you are putting, you've lost about 2 kg, and you're expecting to see a 2 centimeter reduction in the size of your stomach. Oh, since I got disconnected, from my WhatsApp chat, sorry guys, I don't know how that happened. Yeah, I got disconnected from my WhatsApp chat. That's so weird. That's never happened before. Okay. So I got disconnected from my WhatsApp chat. Well, let's move on. This is the part that I know. Yeah, sorry. It seems I got disconnected from the WhatsApp chat. So, yeah. Okay. All right. So, um, so I've said for every 2 kg you lose over a month, you're expecting to lose 2 centimeters of belly fat. Another thing I've mentioned already, switch to high vegetable and high protein diet. I might consider doing a class on the options available for high protein and high vegetable. We're talking vegetable salad, fruit salad, eggs, fish. you know, beans, unripe plantain, vegetables with fish, shredded fish or things like that inside. So you just want to switch to that. And I'm going to be practical with you. There's no way to expect that you will all of a sudden just throw out all your carbohydrates. Nobody's saying that. We need to be practical here. What we are saying is that instead of instead of eating so much carbohydrates as usual, what you want to opt for is you want to do much more of what you want to do is you want to do much more of protein and vegetables, all right? So we're not saying throw out all your carbohydrates, go and throw away all your rice and your yam, your pounded yam. No, nobody's saying that. We're saying, unlike the way we were brought up, where most of the time the stew or the soup is small, so you pack big pounded yam or big eba, and then you take one dot of stew. Just don't, you know, you just use it to touch it, right? That's how a lot of us grew up. It should be that the eba or the pounded yam or whatever it is small, but the soup, the vegetable, whatever it is plenty. Okay, so that's what we're saying. So you need to even have a mindset shift that you are not supposed to be managing the protein, you're not supposed to be managing the stew, you're not supposed to be managing. When you make your rice, you can shred your chicken inside it. You have your eggs in there, right? People, we have this mindset that the final protein, the meat, is the final reward of finishing the food. No, shred it in, eat everything together, because as you are eating that, you realize that if you have shredded protein, whether it's chicken or meat now or fish, you realize that as you are eating, first of all, you feel when you are eating it, it's much more filling, even as you are chewing, right? It's much more filling than when you just take ordinary rice like that. But taking rice with some egg there, or taking rice with some shredded beef or shredded chicken, your mouth feels, when you are biting down on the protein and all that, it's not easy. You will not just quickly swallow, swallow. You won't be able to rush it like that. Okay, so even that already supports the aspect of imbibing or including more protein in your diet. So don't do it in such a way that you have eaten a whole mountain of eba or rice, then you now want to reward yourself with one meal. Shred it. You'll be surprised that if you shred it, or you scatter the protein, maybe you cut the egg into the rice or whatever it is, you might end up eating less and you're already satisfied. Yeah, you realize you're already satisfied, as opposed to if you finish the whole thing first, then you now want to reward yourself with protein. So you are already, you just pack it and put it into the fridge. Yeah. Okay. So it's an important way, a mindset shift. Your protein is not reward for you finishing the rice or the amala. It is not a reward. Shred it. Even when you're eating amala or eba, the beef is shredded, the fish, everything. As you are taking some soup, you are taking some beef, you are taking some chicken, it's full. Okay, and you realize that you end up having to eat less carbohydrate. So that's an approach to take. Okay, and then bottom line, address all the other issues. So we spoke about um, lack of exercise. If you're not exercising, you know what to do. Stress, manage your stress. All right, stress causes you to increase in belly fat. That one there is it's a fact, right? It's a scientific study. Alcohol and smoking, don't even go there. Okay, address all these issues that you need to address. We've talked about diet, talked about what causes calories to pile up. Avoid all the things that you need to avoid. If you are concerned about belly fat, you have no business going near junk food. Okay, prepare your food by yourself. And one more hack that I'm going to give you. One more hack. Start your day with a protein breakfast. A simple protein breakfast, for example, is one egg and a cup of tea, preferably without sugar or green tea, something like that, right? With an egg. So studies have now shown that starting your day with protein actually reduces your cravings and reduces your appetite throughout the day. It's like a good way to start your day. So even when you get hungry, it's still something that you can manage because you started your day off with protein. So it's something that is really helpful. do a protein-based breakfast, and it will help you a whole lot in managing your cravings. A protein-based breakfast. Okay, so that's one hack I wanted to give. And basically, that's all that I have for today. Yes, I spoke for about 35 minutes. These days, I want to start keeping the conversation short so that it's not overwhelming. I'm not just throwing so much information at everybody and all that. So if anyone has any questions, I'm ready to take questions now. Yeah, if there are any questions. So if you don't take anything from today's class, for every 2 kg you lose in a month, you expect to lose 2 centimeters of belly fat. So go and measure from today. If there's anything you take from today, because belly fat can be very frustrating to lose, but that's usually because people are not measuring by the right standards. So I'm giving you the right standards now to measure. Okay, so um, any questions in rounding up so that everybody can go and prepare for tomorrow? Rest well, sleep 7 hours. A lot of people are going to planning to wake up at 3:30 a.m., 4 a.m. For those of you, God is your strength. Um, so I think I don't really have questions. Okay, it seems like someone is typing something on the group. Okay, I think someone is typing on the group. Let me just hold on and see what is being typed. Okay, so this is a question about chest pain, sharp chest pain. Okay, so sharp chest pain, the one thing I'll ask you to look out for. If you notice that when you bend to the right or bend to the left or bend up or bend down, the pain relieves you. If you adjust position and you feel better, then most likely it might be something about the way you slept, or most times, all right, that's it, the way you slept, or maybe something hit you on your chest a while ago or something like that, right? Or just your posture while you were bending down to do something, while you were trying to pick something. You probably strained one of your muscles. You have muscles on your chest. You have tendons and ligaments. You have them there. So it's possible that you might have injured yourself while trying to adjust or bend and all that. All right. But for a sharp pain, there's that. However, if you notice that the pain does not change, whether you change position or not, it is constant, then please see your doctor. All right. If the pain does not change, and I can see you asking here if it can be ulcer. Well, sharp pain is not classic for ulcer. Ulcer causes more of a burning pain, like you feel like it's hot, pepperish, burning. All right, that's more of ulcer pain. So like I said, if it's consistent, irrespective of you adjusting your position, then definitely see your doctor about that. All right, but a sharp pain is not likely to be ulcer. Okay, so I answered that. I have another question here. How many times can you take carbs in a week? So the number of times you can take carbs a week depends on what kind of physical activity you are doing. If you are the average adult who goes to work, you sit down on your computer, do some things, then you go back home, you relax, you sleep. Your work does not necessarily need you to run up and down a staircase or anything like that. It's not physically taxing. I recommend you can still do carbs up to 3 times a week. You can still do carbs, yeah, you can still do carbs up to 3 times, 4 times a week. You can go as high as 4 or 5. However, where I am going to lay my emphasis is that it's not about the frequency, it's about the quantity. All right, because carbohydrates is something that you cannot take out of diet. You cannot take it out. All right, what you want to be concerned about is the quantity. And like I said, instead of eating a mountain of rice, then you now reward yourself with meat. No, eat small rice. Put your vegetables inside it. Put your shredded beef or chicken. Put your eggs, dice them into it, and eat it at once. And realize that you are eating far less carbohydrates now. So each time you want to eat carbohydrates, the goal is that you want to make sure that carbohydrate is the smallest thing in that diet. Yes, if you are eating your carbohydrates, it should be so small that by the time you look at the size of every other thing, You look at the eggs there, you look at your chicken there or your fish with the vegetable on your plate as you are looking at it. You know that the carbohydrate is the smallest thing there. All right, unlike what we are used to, where it's the biggest thing on the plate. So it's more about quantity than frequency because we can't really do much about the frequency, right? We can't. Even people with diabetes, people treating diabetes cannot also hide from carbohydrates. I remember when they always say, go and take beans. And then we realize beans is 60% carbohydrates. So what are we saying? So the bottom line is, like we learned in school, balanced diet, right? Carbohydrates should be the smallest thing on your plate. Okay, that's what it should be, the smallest thing on your plate. Okay. Um, let me see. So any other question? I think I've addressed the question here. I think I have. There's no other question. So seeing as there's no other question, I think I have been able to, basically lay the foundation for anybody who is considering how to lose belly fat. So I've been able to tell you everything you need to put in your mind, put in perspective, right? How to go about it, what kind of results to expect, so that you're not checking the size of your belly every day, expecting that it has gone down. Alright? So I hope I've been able to put things in proper perspective. If there are no other questions, I think we can call it a day so everybody can go and have a wonderful. Okay, like someone else is typing. Okay, yes, thank you so much. All right, everybody, have a wonderful week, and or next week we'll probably see if we can do touch up on some options. I want to elaborate on protein options because I think that's usually the problem in this part of the world. People don't know protein options, so we'll see if we can touch up on that a little bit, and we should be able to move. Oh, I can see some people typing. So if you have questions, just start typing them so that I know when to round off. I'm probably going to take this round of questions before I call it. Let me just take this round of questions. I can see, so I can see someone typing. Let's just wait for the person to finish typing. Yeah, let's just wait so we can answer their questions. Once more again, please, if you know anyone, in fact, if you know anyone who should lose weight, you can politely send this our community link to them. All right. Yes, fibroid makes the stomach big. That is a fact. And I wanted to mention this, but uh, I I just felt that I didn't want to go too far into the conversation. What fibroid is a completely different conversation entirely. It's a mass, right? It's a mass, and it's most of the time it's benign. It's just big and it's just there. It's not doing anything. It's not causing any harm. So for fibroids, if you truly are concerned, for anybody who wants to address that as a reason to address that, knowing that that's the reason, because first of all, it is important to establish first of all that okay, for this particular person, the fibroid is the reason why the stomach is big. It is possible to have fibroids, and the fibroids are not big enough to make the stomach big. We need to get that into proper context, right? So it's not enough for someone that someone has fibroid. We just assume that it's the fibroid that is making the stomach big. So the person will need to be assessed by a gynecologist. In the event where it's established that the fibroid is what is making the stomach big, then the person has a choice, can decide to do a surgery. If the fibroid does not have any symptoms, some gynecologists tell you, well, it's optional. If you don't want to remove it, it will not cause any problem. And then at that point in time, it's about what you want to do. The choice is yours. Um, so yeah, so ultimately for fibroid, the solution is surgery, right? To remove the mass. That's basically what the solution is. Surgery to remove the mass. And once you remove the mass, the stomach returns to normal size, more or less. Yeah, more or less. Okay. To reduce bad cholesterol, exercise largely, right? Exercise, avoid junk food, avoid fast food, avoid processed food. Generally, junk food, fast food, processed food, food that you were not there when they were preparing it, basically. that okay, let me not say food that you were not there. Food that was prepared in a factory and pre-packaged. Unlike food that you can go and meet, you can see Yafikira, she's cooking it, she's serving the food, right? For processed food, anything they make in a factory and then they package it, most of the time it increases your bad cholesterol. All right, so avoid that. Refined food, refined sugar, fast food. So fast food or cake, sausage, shawarma, pizza, all the blah 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 snacks generally, they all increase bad cholesterol. That's what I was talking about when I mentioned trans fat. Trans fat as a number one cause of having belly fat. Trans fat is very, very commonly found in snacks and junk food, which is part of why it ends up as bad cholesterol. So trans fat usually, when it's broken down, ends up as bad cholesterol, and bad cholesterol is the type that will cause problems for the heart, right? Um, so there's that. That's how you reduce bad cholesterol. And exercise too. Sedentary lifestyle. Exercise. Avoid alcohol. Alcohol too is a source of bad cholesterol. All right. So exercise helps you to burn off a lot of calories that would have ended up as bad cholesterol. So exercise. Because on the other side, sedentary lifestyle where you're just sitting down every time, you don't do enough physical activity, 150 minutes per week. That's what we say, right? So if you're not doing that, you are just sitting down all the time, then that person's at risk of having higher bad cholesterol. Okay. Someone with PCOS. PCOS. So being overweight is one of the risk factors for PCOS, right? And for PCOS, there's no special way to lose weight, right? For PCOS, it's the same thing. All right, it's the same way. The most efficient way to lose weight is through controlling what you eat, standard, and that's largely what we've discussed today already. All right, controlling what you eat. There's it's the number one. Exercise is good, every other thing is good, but you see that number one spot for shedding weight in any situation is controlling what you eat, and everything I have said so far buttresses that fact. Okay, so yeah, so I've answered the question. Okay. Ah, should I take this one more question? I can see one. Okay. Okay, I can see someone typing. So the question, how can someone solve the left hand emptiness of the stomach? I don't really understand what left hand emptiness of the stomach is. And after eating and severe back pain, I don't really know what that is. I don't really know what left hand emptiness of the stomach is. Um, So, but for back pain, most of the time, back pain is due to lifestyle. It's nothing complicated. As you get older, there are certain things that you should not be doing so much of. Also, a lot of people don't know how to bend down to lift things, so you bend from your back. It's wrong. You're supposed to bend at your knees, right? So, most of the time, back pain is due to posture of doing things, posture of sitting down, posture lying down, posture bending down. Most those are the common causes of back pain. Okay, so I recommend anybody having back pain, you need to look into your lifestyle. There is something that you are doing every day with that back in a bad posture that is causing that back pain. A lot of times it's the way you sit down. A lot of times it's the chair. All right, the chair you are sitting on is wrong. So you need to address it. You need to address it. And if you don't know what to do, bottom line is that when you're sitting down, your back should be straight. So some people have to buy a special chair. The chairs are very expensive, but I don't know what else anybody can do. You need to adjust your sitting posture. There is no way around it. So if you can get a chair to adjust it, fine. If you cannot, you have to intentionally tell yourself that okay, when I'm in a bad posture, I will sit up straight. Another thing is that if you're in a position, you know that every time you take this position, you feel that back pain. That position is a problem. That position is bad. You need to adjust. All right. So anytime you notice that, you need to adjust. Okay. So I'm thinking of rounding it off at this point in time. I'm trying to allow the person typing to finish. Oh, feeling something in the left side of your stomach. Okay, okay. Well, for this, you need to be evaluated properly. The doctor has to do what we call palpation, where it's going to feel your stomach to properly assess what you are describing. This is not really something that can be addressed very easily online. So see a doctor, they will palpate, all right? They will palpate, they will touch your stomach. There are certain things we feel for when we are palpating, and that will give an idea of what the problem might be. But this right now, this symptom can be almost anything. It's too broad and too vague. Okay, so I think I'll round it off there. Thank you all so much for joining. I need to let everybody go and start their plans for the week. Have a wonderful week and stay healthy. Bye bye.